Hi, I'm Walter Gottlieb, and I am so pleased to be here with our CEO and President, Max Richtman. Welcome.
Thank you, Walter.
All right, always enjoy having you. Let's jump right into it. So we wanted to talk about fiscal commissions in order to solve the Social Security problem. We don't generally like the idea of fiscal commissions, and Max is going to talk about why we don't like it so much. We want to start with the latest news, which is that Senator Durbin of Illinois and several co-sponsors have a bill that would create a fiscal commission. It's not like all the others we've heard about, but we're still not super comfortable with it, are we?
You're right. We generally, not just generally, but universally oppose these commissions because they avoid accountability, responsibility, and Senator Durbin and some of his colleagues have introduced a bipartisan variation of a commission on Social Security proposal, and we can talk about some of the details if you like, Walter.
I would love to get into the details. But before we do, overall, we don't love the commission idea because it kind of punts the ball over to these fiscal commissions to try to decide what to do about Social Security instead of just letting Congress come up with ideas on its own and act. Is that?
Yeah, to me, these commissions are kind of a legislative approach to avoiding responsibility, to not being accountable. And by the way, I have great respect and admiration for Senator Durbin.
Yes.
He's been a champion of Social Security, Medicare, Older Americans Act, all the senior programs we care about for decades, and I commend him for that. But this idea of a commission that he has proposed that would push through big changes, potentially, in Social Security in the waning days of a Congress,
Right.
where a lame duck Congress after the election, many of these members will be leaving, whether voluntarily or involuntarily.
At the end of 2026.
Yes,
Yeah.
and his plan would have them vote on a proposal that could mean dramatic changes in benefits, and I don't mean good changes.
No,
I mean
right.
reductions.
Bad dramatic.
Bad
Yeah.
dramatic. In the last few days of a Congress, when they'll no longer be accountable because they won't be coming back to Congress, I think that's a real problem. And I think Congress is responsible for Social Security and should be accountable for whatever changes take place in the Social Security program.
Can I ask you something before we get too deep? A lot of the fiscal commission proposals would sort of bypass regular order in Congress, meaning that any changes that this commission recommended could be fast-tracked through the Congress before the public or advocates have adequate time to respond. Is that part of our concern?
That's exactly right. All these commissions have expedited procedures that do not go through the regular order. Social Security is such an important program to everybody. I mean, not just seniors, but working people who need these benefits when they retire, who have coverage for life and disability insurance. It's so important. What's wrong with having bills introduced, having hearings
in committee, right?
In committees, committees of jurisdiction, the Ways and Means Committee, the Finance Committee, having advocates such as the Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare testify on proposals, have a vote in the committee, report out a bill, go to the Rules Committee in the House, report out a bill there in the Senate, have legislation that's voted on, debated and voted on. That's the way these changes we need to make some changes. There's no doubt about that.
Otherwise, the trust fund reserves will run dry in the early 2030s. I want to ask you something about...
Well, let me just make it clear to anyone who's listening, the fact that the trust fund reserves run dry does not mean Social Security is broke and cannot pay benefits. Benefits would be reduced, and that would be a serious, serious problem.
Yeah.
If we get another 6 or 7, 8 years from now and there are no improvements, changes, reforms, whatever you want to call them, to the Social Security, automatically benefits will be reduced 20, 21, 22%. We can't let that happen. But that is not the same as thinking the program doesn't exist and it just won't be there at all. As long as we have people working, payroll taxes being collected, FICA tax, the program continues. So it's an important thing to get across, and you know that.
I know that, and I want to get into some history for a little bit because you've been in the field a long time. You worked on Capitol Hill for a long time. Commissions don't have a stellar track record anyway, right? So in 1983, there was the Greenspan Commission. And I believe in the 2000s, there was the Simpson-Bowles Commission. And neither of them really moved the ball that far anyway, right? I mean, is that a correct recapping?
Well, they're different. The Simpson-Bowles Commission kind of collapsed. They didn't have the votes to even get
a recommendation.
To the Congress. The Greenspan Commission did go to Congress, and Congress had to act beyond what the Greenspan Commission had put together, and they did make some changes that, but you know, Walter, that at that point in the early 80s, Social Security was going to be able to pay full benefits for 6, 7, 8 months.
And then
there would be a reduction like
Yeah.
we're talking about now in 6 or 7 years.
Right.
So the Greenspan Commission helped formulate a plan that extended the solvency beyond the next 5 or 6 months. What the Greenspan Commission did not foresee, and this is really, I'm not criticizing them, nobody really foresaw the extreme income inequality that we have
That's right.
experienced in the last couple decades. And because of that, that cap on wages subject to the payroll tax is now, I think, $84,500.
$184,500, yeah.
And about close to 80% of wages are covered. It used to be, before Greenspan, it was about 92%.
Yeah.
So they did not foresee back then, Greenspan, Bob Dole, Moynihan, Tip O'Neill, Ronald Reagan, that extreme inequality that has developed over the last couple decades.
But let me ask you something. If the Greenspan Commission actually came through with a proposal that was embellished and acted on, why don't we want another Greenspan-style commission today?
Well, the Greenspan Commission required a lot of changes by the Congress. It was a framework, but I don't see that. Now, these commissions that are being discussed now scare me. They should scare you.
Yeah.
They should scare anybody that's watching, because the way they've been constituted. We started talking about the Durbin Commission. The Durbin Commission has deadlines that are really unrealistic.
Rush.
Russia
Yeah.
program through, Russia through the congressional committees, Russia through the House and the Senate, limitations on debate, which will set the stage for members of Congress being able to avoid accountability,
Yep.
avoid responsibility, and that it's their job. The Congress, part of their job is to fix Social Security, and we need to make sure they do that.
So in other words, the Greenspan Commission served as a sort of template which Congress could then take and work with, but all these proposals that would be rushed through Congress without adequate time. That's the key. So basically, to sum up, these commissions would give individual members of Congress political cover if they want to do something deeply unpopular, like cut benefits, which we don't believe is necessary anyway.
Absolutely. I encourage our members, seniors that go to town hall meetings, campaign events, ask the question, where are you on Social Security?
Absolutely.
And saying I'm for it, because I hear that all the time from members of Congress and Canada. I'm
Not
for
enough.
it. It's not good enough. Where are you on fixing the program in the long term? Are you for bringing in more revenue in a fair, equitable way? Or do you want to support cutting benefits, which I don't think most Americans would support?
They do not. Huge majorities of Americans across party lines are against cutting benefits, and they're for the wealthy paying their fair share. All right, Max, this is wonderful.
Thank you, Walter.
Very thorough discussion. You're welcome. See you next time.